Oh, did I say I went before? Whoa, I went before. Here we go. I didn't even say this. Hey everyone, and welcome to my channel. If you're new here, I am doing a short series, hopefully short series of my post-COVID workouts. I know I haven't talked much about getting COVID-19 on this channel. I have on Facebook and Instagram, things like that. But for me, it was pretty bad. I started getting symptoms on a Friday, body aches, a cough, and just tired, just tired, like really tired. And that was on a Friday. No fever that day, but the next day is when the fever started. So on Saturday, like the 24th, October 24th. So Saturday was kind of everything. It was body aches, fever, coughing. Not a lot of coughing, but it was that dry cough that I was really paying attention to on Friday, and just super tired. So I was taking, everything I could to get my fever down. It would take quite a while, and it was, it was uncomfortable, like any fever is. So on Saturday, when the fever went up, that's when I decided I would go get a test, and went to the emergency room. I did the rapid COVID test. They did a flu test, and then they took x-rays of my lungs, and I was there for a little while, two hours or so, and finally the COVID test came back negative. The flu test came back negative, but I'm assuming the x-rays suggested that I had pneumonia. So great, I can do pneumonia. Let's get some antibiotics, and off they sent me, and went home. So that was Saturday. Took my antibiotics, I'm still feeling really bad, but it was like half a day, a full day of antibiotics, and nothing much. So it was Sunday night, bedtime, trying to go to sleep, and my body is just hurts. Fever was up, so I decided to take a bath, and I took all my meds. I probably should not have taken the bath. I should have taken, not a hot bath, should have taken a cold bath, gotten ice packs, and taken my meds, and just cooled my body down, or tried to anyway. But fever got up to 104.5, and I woke my husband up around midnight and said, I am ready to go to the hospital. So got Gordon up, took him over to my mom's. He spent the night there. My husband went with me to the emergency room. Of course, he couldn't go back there with me, so did all of those things again. The rapid COVID test, not flu, just rapid COVID. They did blood work for the PCR COVID test that was sent off to somewhere else. And then a CT scan of my lungs to make sure there weren't any blood clots. Did blood work for sepsis because I had several indicators that may have led to that, so they tested for sepsis, and more x-rays. The doctor said that my x-rays looked a lot worse than they had the day before. So, they kept me for quite some time and got all the tests back and all that stuff. Well, the rapid COVID test came back negative, but they did not like my lungs. They did not like how my lungs looked. So they really wanted to keep me until that PCR COVID test came in. So at about 6 a.m. into a hospital room, I finally went. My husband went home, and I was there for the next 3 days at least. So just hanging out, waiting for those results. It was awful. I guess I really didn't have trouble breathing, but they were shallow breaths, really, really short breaths. If I breathed too deeply, I would cough. That didn't happen often, just, on occasion. But what this whole thing really triggered, and what was really bad, was the fever. The fever took forever to get down. And it triggered my migraines. And they were awful. I think I handled the pain pretty well, except for that last time. It was about the second or third day. I can't quite remember. It's kind of blurry. I just remember trying to lay there as still as I could and to breathe as best as I could to kind of mitigate the pain. But just the pulsing, pounding, and the fever, I ended up calling the nurse's station. And I had before. I'd called the nurse station before. I'm pretty sure my fever's up. My migraines triggered, and they gave me morphine for my migraine, which helped a little bit, so that was nice. But this time, I just called them crying. I called them crying because it was so painful. They gave me morphine. They gave me all my meds. And that was the night the nurse, it was terrible. She brought me ice packs. So ice packs all over, under my arms, behind my neck, on my chest, just almost covered in ice. Could have taken an ice bath. But it took some time. It was enough time that I got a second round of morphine. And finally, sometime early in the morning, my fever broke. And I was drenched after that. But that next day was also the day that the PCR COVID test came back positive. And we're like, okay, now we know. So immediately they gave me remdesivir, and that worked like magic. I did not have another fever. And that was it. The migraines went away. I did get some migraine medication. I don't know if it worked all that well, but because the fever was gone, the migraines settled down, the stress on my body was reduced quite a bit. As far as my breathing, it never got really bad, but it definitely affected my oxygen intake. So also at about day 3, 4, they gave me oxygen. And that was sort of the beginning of the recovery, was that day 4, because I was in there for 2 more days. I was in the hospital for 6 days. So practically a week, away from my son and husband. So the remdesivir was great. Migraines settled down. The fever went away. The breathing was still shallow, but not that was never really a big problem. And it was that Saturday, so from Sunday midnight to Saturday around 1 p.m. That Saturday morning, they took me off the oxygen. I had had no more fevers for about 2 days. I was starting to feel so much better, not as tired, not as achy. And they took me off the oxygen that Saturday, and everything was fine. I was able to maintain over 90 on my oxygen. So I got to go home. So now, 2 weeks later, I'm starting from scratch. I have lost some muscle. I've lost about 2 pounds of muscle, but I'm gonna get it back. Hopefully, I will. I'll get it back. Hopefully it'll come back quick. My husband and I did bench, as you're going to see in the next clips, and that felt really good. Just did 10 minutes on my bike, which you saw, just a low intensity, steady state, and I'm telling you, it felt like I did HIIT cardio with weights, or I was doing jujitsu. It was hard. It wasn't painful anymore, which was great. My lungs were hurting.
Not as bad?
Yeah, not as bad. My lungs were not hurting as bad. They didn't burn. They had that burn when I first started my cardio on the elliptical. So things are definitely looking up. I'm getting super tired sometimes, which is understandable. But overall, I'm feeling really good. And this update has probably gone on long enough, so we will get back to working out. Thanks for watching, everybody, and I hope you're enjoying this. I hope it is encouraging, because you guys encourage me as well with just being able to talk to you. The comments that you leave, it's really nice. So thank you so much for watching, and we will see you in the next one.